as Dust 1218 would say.
Time for some more numbers.
Here are 35 amazing numbers to expand your mind. 39. 39 is the 12th distinct semi-prime and the 4th of the 3 times Q family. It is also a perfect totient number, which means it is equal to the sum of its iterated totient. By the way, 39 is a parent number, coming after 17, 22, and 29, meaning it's the sum of the first 2 mentioned. 17. 17 is a prime in the form 2 to the n plus 1. A polygon with 17 sides is called a heptadecagon, because 17 is a thermoprime. Regular heptadecagons can be constructed with a compass and a ruler. It is also the sum of the first 4 prime numbers. Besides, 17 is the 3rd thermoprime, which means it is a prime in the form 2 to the 2 to the n plus 1. 23. 23 is the 9th prime number. It is also the largest member of the first prime sextuplet. 7, 11, 13, 17, 19, and 23. Also, the 23rd highly composite number, 20,160, is 1 less than the last number, 20,161, that can't be expressed as the sum of 2 abundant numbers. 26. 26 is the number of letters in the alphabet. 26 is also a replicate in base 3 and base 12, and both of these forms are all 2s. In base 10, 26 is the smallest non-palindrome to have a square that is a palindrome. By the way, 26 is the smallest number that is both a non-totient and a non-cototient number. 25. 25 is a square number, being 5 squared. When dealing with percentages, 25% is equal to 1/4. With decimal numbers, a number is divisible by 25 if the last 2 digits match 00, 25, 50, or 75. By the way, it is the smallest decimal Friedman number as it can be expressed by its own digits. 5 to the 2. 2 is the smallest and only even prime number. 2 is also the first Sophie Germain prime, the first factorial prime, the first Lucas prime, and the first Ramanujan prime. An integer is called even if it is divisible by 2. Also, 2 is the only number that is both a prime number and a highly composite number. 34. 34 is the 9th distinct semiprime. To be more specific, it is the 6th of the form 2 times Q, or 2Q. It is also the 9th Fibonacci number and a companion Pell number. Since it is an odd-indexed Fibonacci number, it is a Markov number. Also, 34 is the magic constant of a 4x4 normal magic square, as well as a magic octagram. 19 is the 8th prime number. By the way, the sum of the squares of the first 19 primes is divisible by 19. 19 is also the 2nd octahedral number after 6. It is also the 7th Mersenne prime exponent. The first prime decimal number that is not a permutable prime is 19, as its reverse, 91, is composite because that's 7 times 13, 45. 45 is the smallest odd number that has more divisors than n plus 1, and that has a larger sum of divisors than n plus 1. It is the 6th positive integer with a square prime factorization of the form p squared times q, with p and q prime, and the first of the form 3 squared times q, 41. 41 is the 13th smallest prime number. The next is 43, making both twin primes. This is also a centered square number. It is also the sum of the first 6 prime numbers, 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, and 13. By the way, it is the sum of 2 squares, 4 squared and 5 squared. 12. 12 is the 5th highly composite number, with it being the smallest number with exactly 6 divisors. It is one of the 2 sublime numbers as well, which are numbers that have a perfect number of divisors whose sum is also perfect. Additionally, it is the 5th Pell number, preceded by 0, 1, 2, and 5. 8 is the smallest non-trivial cube. 8 is the base of the octal number system as well, which is mostly used with computers. Also, 8 is the 6th Fibonacci number and the first even, non-prime Fibonacci number. Aside from 1, it is the only positive Fibonacci number that is a perfect cube. 33. 33 is the largest positive integer that can't be expressed as a sum of different triangular numbers. The sum of the first 4 positive factorials is equal to 1 plus 2 plus 6 plus 24 equals 33. It is also the smallest odd rep digit that is not a prime number. Interestingly, it is divisible by the number of prime numbers below 33, 11, 18. 18 is the 10th composite number, and 10 itself is composite. Also, 18 is an abundant number, as the sum of its proper divisors is greater than itself, as 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 6 plus 9 equals 21. In base 10, it is a harsh number. By the way, it is the number of one-sided pentominoes or polygon in the plane made of 5 equal-sized squares connected edge to edge. 24. 24 is the average number of hours in a day on Earth. By the way, 24 is the largest integer that is divisible by all natural numbers no larger than its square root. In addition, 24 is the number of digits of the largest known unitary perfect number as of 2023 in decimal. 14 is the 7th composite number and the 3rd distinct semiprime. A tetrahedron is a polyhedron with 14 faces. It is the first even non-totient, meaning that it is not a totient number. It is also the first member of the first cluster of 2 discrete semiprimes, 14 and 15, with the next such cluster being 21 and 22. 21 is the 5th distinct semiprime. Also, 21 is the number of prime numbers that have 2 digits. The number 21 is a Bloom integer since it is a semiprime with both its prime factors being Gaussian primes. It is also the 6th triangular number and the sum of the divisors of the first 5 positive integers. 32. 32 is the ideal number of teeth in an adult human, including wisdom teeth. Also, is the 5th power of 2, making it the first non-trivial 5th power. Since the aliquot sum of a power of 2 is always 1 less than the number itself, the aliquot sum of 32 is 31. 31 is the 11th prime number. By the way, the numbers 31, 331, 3,331, 33,331, 333,331, 3,333,331, and 33,333,331 are all prime. In computing the 31st power of 2 minus 1 is the maximum positive value for a 32-bit signed binary integer, 2,147,483,647. Also, the 31st triangular number is a perfect number called 496. 49 is a square of a prime number, 7, and the 4th non-unitary square prime of the form p squared. 49 also has an aliquot sum of 8, which is itself a prime power, and hence an aliquot sequence of 2 composite members, 49, 8, 7, 1, 0. The number is the first square where the digits are squares, because 4 and 9 are squares. 44 is the number of candles in a box of Hanukkah candles. Also, the number of derangements of 5 items is 44. It is also a repligate and palindromic number in decimal. It is the 4th octahedral number. The first cluster of 2 square primes of the form p squared times q is 44 and 45. 44 is the first member of the 2. 47 is the 15th prime number and the 6th Lucas prime. Because 47 is a Lucas prime, it is also a Lucas number. 47 is also a highly cototient number. This number is an Eisenstein prime with no imaginary part and real part of the form 3n-1. The number is also a Thabit number because it's equal to 3 times 2 to the 4th power minus 1. 22 is a palindromic number in base 10. It is the 2nd Smith number. Additionally, 22 is the number of pieces in a disk that can be created with 6 straight cuts, making it the 7th central polygonal number. 22 is also the 6th distinct semiprime, and the 4th of the form 2q, where q is a higher prime. 42 is, in the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, the answer to life, the universe, and everything. 42 is also 10 factorial divided by the number of seconds in a day, or the number of days in 6 factorial seconds. 42 is also the sum of the first 6 positive even numbers. 27 is the cube of 3, or 3 rated to the 2. Remarkably, it's equal to the sum of the numbers between and including its digits. By the way, 27 is the only positive integer that is 3 times the sum of its digits. In decimal. 27 is the first composite number not divisible by any of its digits. 16. 16 is a square number, being 4 square. It is also the first non-unitary 4th power prime of the form p to the 4th power. It is the smallest number with exactly 5 divisors, with its proper divisors being 1, 2, 4, and 8. By the way, 16 is the largest known integer n, for which 2 to the n plus 1 is prime. 6. 6 is the smallest perfect number. As a perfect number, 6 is related to the Mersenne prime 3. The next perfect number is 28. It is the first octahedral number, and the next one is 19. Additionally, 6 is a triangular number, and so is its square, 36. Also, 6 is the only even perfect number that is not the sum of successive odd cubes. 10. 10 is the base of our decimal numeral system, which is the most common system of numbers in both spoken and written language. Also, it is the smallest non-quotient, which is a number that can't be expressed as the difference between any integer and the total number of coprimes below it. 28. 28 is the second perfect number, which means it's the sum of its proper divisors. Also, a happy number, a triangular number, and a hexagonal number all describe the number 28. As a perfect number, 28 is related to the Mersenne prime 7, which is the second of its kind. The next perfect number is 496. 9. 9 is the first composite number that is odd. 9 is also the sum of the cubes of the first two non-zero positive integers, 1 cubed plus 2 cubed, which makes it the first cube sum number greater than 1. In addition, 9 is the highest single-digit number in the decimal system. 43. 43 is the largest natural number that is not an original nugget number. The third Wagstaff prime is 43. By the way, a Wagstaff is a prime in the form 2 to the p plus 1, divided by 3, incenary, or base 6. It is a replicate, 111. It is also the 14th smallest prime number. The previous is 41. 7. 7 is the fourth prime number. 7 is the lowest natural number that can't be represented as the sum of the squares of 3 integers. It is also a Mersenne prime, since 2 cubed minus 1 equals 7, and it is also a double Mersenne prime since the exponent, 3, is itself a Mersenne prime. 20. 20 is the basis for vigesimal number systems. The third tetrahedral number is 20. E to the pi minus pi very nearly have a difference equal to 20 because the difference is about 0.0009 less than an integer value. 20 is also a product number, as it is the product of consecutive integers, namely 4 and 5. 50. 50 is the number of states in the United States of America. It is the smallest number that is the sum of two non-zero square numbers in two distinct ways. 50 equals 1 squared plus 7 squared and 50 equals 5 squared plus 5 squared. One of the harsh numbers is 50, since its sum of the digits, 5 plus 0 equals 5, is divisible by 50. 38. 38 is the 11th discrete semiprime in the 7th of the form 2 times q. 38 factorial minus 1 is equal to 523661746600111760000742241000742911999999, which is the 16th factorial prime. 38 is also the sum of the squares of the first 3 primes, and that's it. Thank you for watching, and if you like Dust 1218's videos, subscribe to him for more videos. For more information, go to the Wikipedia pages of these numbers.